Thank you so much, Vice President Bonilla. You have the floor.
Thank you, President Angel. Welcome, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for joining Capacity and Utilization Committee meeting. My name is Stephanie Bonilla, Chair of Capacity and Utilization, with my co-chair, Mr. Craig Spencer. Tonight, we will be reviewing how capacity and utilization impacts our students and why this work is critical. Thank you. The purpose of this committee is to monitor how school space is used and to ensure District 75 students are placed in safe, appropriate, and accessible environments. This includes reviewing new sites, expansions, and co-locations. Next slide, please. Thank you. Capacity versus utilization. Capacity refers to how many students a building is designed to hold. Utilization is how full that building is. When utilization goes over 100%, it means the building is overcrowded. Next slide, please. Oh, I just want to add this quick example real quick. It's the same as if a building is under the 100%, that means they're unutilized. Why this matters for District 75? District 75 students require smaller class sizes, therapy rooms, and accessibility. Standard DOE formulas often not capture these needs, which is why our review is essential. And we could do some of these reviews, as I've always told you guys. Even you don't have to be title in order to voice what you're seeing in your child's school. DOE utilization and definitions. DOE uses utilization percentages to evaluate buildings. However, these formulas often fail to include special education service requirements, which can make buildings appear underutilized when they're not. And D75 is also not reflected in many of the formulas. Common capacity issues. We frequently see overcrowded classrooms, therapy rooms converted into instructional space, and safety concerns related to student movement and emergency evacuation. Thank you. Co-location case examples. These examples are generic but reflect patterns we often see when co-locations occur without a District 75 specific impact review. The impact services safety and instructional impact services safety and instructional time. Also as shared common spaces. The role of the committee. The committee reviews data. We participate in walkthroughs, collect concerns, and report findings to CCD 75, council, and district office to ensure accountability. Our school walkthrough focus areas. During walkthroughs, we look at classroom size, we could look at accessibility, therapy space, safety conditions, and how students move throughout the building. And that is accessible. One of the things I wanted you guys to have knowledge of is EIS red flags that could become automatic areas of concern.
Vice President Bonilla, could you
Yeah.
please tell them what EIS stands for?
Yes, I was looking for it right now.
You want me to give it to you?
If you can, yes, please.
Education impact statements.
Okay.
These are things that will normally come out from either your CEC, your superintendent. We also will send out copies, but they're statements that explain what Vice President Bonilla will walk you through.
Thank you for that. Mr. Spencer,
Yeah, go ahead.
are you able to read this slide?
Oh, sure. Yeah. The EIS slide.
Knowledge of this, and I felt this would be perfect.
You still need me to read it, or are you good?
If you could please share this slide. These are some of the red flags that we could look into.
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna go ahead and read it. EIS red flags, automatic areas of concern. District 75 programs not mentioned or only referenced generally in the document. Therapy rooms listed as flex space or not clearly identified. That's also a generality. We should be more, something should be more specific than just flex space. Utilization data does not reflect specialized class size requirements, loss or reassignment of existing District 75 instructional space. Students required to travel between floors, wings, or buildings, wings, different sections of the buildings. Shared spaces without clear or equitable schedules. That needs to, we can't assume that that space is going to be ours. It should be as clearly stated. Accessibility issues not addressed, i.e. elevators or ramps, ADA restrooms. That's very important. Safety and emergency evacuation impacts not analyzed, also important. No documentation of family or council consultation. It's not for us if it's not without us. And proposal relies only on utilization percentages without functional review by the district. I guess next slide. Yeah.
Yes.
EIS red flags, the committee review summary, what this committee reviews. District 75 is barely mentioned or generalized. These are things we want to make sure we check off that is not the case. Therapy rooms labeled as flex space. We don't want that. Specialized class size requirements ignored. Existing District 75 space reduced or reassigned. Students required to travel excessively between floors or buildings. Shared spaces, lack of equitable scheduling. ADA accessibility not addressed. Safety and evacuation impacts missing. Families or councils not consulted. DOE relies only on utilization percentages instead of functional need. Committee determination, this proposal requires further review before moving forward. So basically, if any of these bullet points that you see appear in a educational impact statement, it's the committee and the council's role to flag that and say this isn't properly for our community.
May I pause this for a moment? I see in the chat that we may be having an issue with the Spanish line. Can we double check? I think that the parent might be saying they cannot hear on the line or it's not functioning. Interpreters, are we able to have a little bit of feedback?
I'll try it right now. Let me just test it again. No.
Please. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Esther.
¿Alguien que esté en la línea de español me pueden decirme si me escuchan? All right. My Spanish partner is able to hear me well.
Is the parent that is in the chat able to log into the language line to listen? I think that they're unable to participate. Are we able to check with her on the background to see how we might be able to support?
Okay, I will repost the phone number for her so she could connect. Probably she's not connected.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
No, we went too far.
I think we were on 11.
Yeah.
Did you want me to restate that, or are we good? We're going to move on to the next slide.
Before we go to the next one.
Okay. EIS review questions, District 75 focus. Does the educational impact statement EIS address District 75 programs specifically? Are there therapy rooms, OT, PT, speech, counseling, preserved and clearly identified? Does the proposal reduce or reassign existing District 75 instructional space? And then I guess with that question, we would need a particular explanation in depth why that has occurred or what's the alternative to that. Are accessibility features, elevators, ramps, ADA bathrooms sufficient for all students? Will students be required to travel between floors, wings, or buildings in excess? I think we don't want in excess. Are shared spaces scheduled equitably for District 75 students? Does utilization data reflect specialized class size requirements? Has families and council members' input been documented? And are safety and emergency evacuation impacts clearly explained? Next slide. This matters. Clearly documents.
Sorry.
Okay. I think we're on 13. This matters. Clearly documents automatic concern. If it's not clearly stated, this is what the first bullet point is. If it's not clearly stated, then it automatically triggers concern. So if those things from the last slide aren't clearly stated, it's a concern for us as representatives of the community. Provides defensible committee language. Yeah, I mean, just in terms of our advocacy, we'll speak up toward those deficits that we see. And it allows the committee to formally state this proposal requires further review before moving forward. It's extremely important because it protects council members, CCD 75 members, supports formal face escalations. It's within the proper process to address these concerns, creates a clear public record during hearings, and prevents concerns from being labeled as informal or swept under the rug or ignored. Committee statement, these are our documented red flags as a committee. So if those bullet points that we saw in the last couple of slides, we'll as a committee, we'll present that to the council, and then as a council, they'll vote to say, these are the flags that we saw, and this is where our stand is as representatives of this community. So the next steps, we continue monitoring the utilization data, schedule school walkthroughs, collect concerns from families, mainly through the committee, since we could meet more often than the actual whole council, will present those family concerns in council meetings, prepare reports and recommendations from the committee to the council, and advocate for equitable space planning. Next slide. That's a wrap up in terms of the nuts and bolts and how we represent you guys and how we answer. We speak up for you and answer back to you. Is there any questions or concerns that you guys have? Please put it in the chat. And I guess we want to check with the interpretation to see if any of our folks on interpretation lines have any questions.
No problem. While that occurs, I just want to share real quick some items that I put in the chat. And I want to make acknowledgement that Spanish line.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Spanish don't listen. No se escucha la traducción.
Yo lo voy a arreglar ahora, ¿ok?
Muchas gracias.
Okay. Spanish line.
Hi there. Yeah, this is the Spanish line. Just to mention, it's possible that people are being admitted into the Spanish line, but maybe there's an additional step where they need to click and where the organizers have to click admit or something because they say that they're on the line, but that they still can't hear the audio. So I don't know if they need to be admitted further.
One moment. Let me double check for you guys.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Apologize for that technical issue.
We want to ensure that everyone is able to get the information or able to ask the questions that you need. Señora Ramírez y señora Esther están trabajando en la conexión, ¿ok? Denos unos minutos.
I believe we're set now. Can we double check?
I'm verifying now.
Thank you so very much. I see that she says yes, she can hear now.
Okay, I asked if to respond for folks on the chat or on to unmute themselves on the language line if they hear, but if you confirm, then we can proceed if that's all right.
Yes, sí escuché. And si recién los escucho. I believe if that's correct, Bonilla, that the member can hear. If you're confirmed, you may continue with the meeting.
Yes.
Was the only issue with the Spanish line? Was it any other? Was the Mandarin and the Bangladesh?
No other issues were yet. The only issue was the Spanish line. Did you want me to pull the slides back up for the very end?
Yeah.
Okay. The screen. I just wanted to share with some of the joint public hearings that we've been attending and some of the schools. There was one yesterday. Would you like to speak on, President Angel? And it was for 438Q at Q445. Hello? Are you guys able to hear me?
I can hear you, Vice President Bonilla. So on the screen, these are the what's been attended.
Yes.
Sorry, guys, I got dropped off. I believe what you're seeing and what you were asking me to speak to is our joint public hearings. As you know, as a council, we are mandated legally to show up as representation for the voices of our community. What you've seen so far, we've had joint public hearings that have happened since November of last year, and they will be moving into the spring forward. So myself and Second Vice President Bonilla have been going to them and encouraging other members to also attend. The most recent one that we went to was the P43Q at 445, which was Annette Beals School. I'll say something that's very interesting that we'll need you guys at the panel for educational policy, because as we move to make sure our students are within their communities, they have a right to be within community. They have a right to not have to go borough to borough or long extended periods of time on a bus to get to a school. There are families who feel like even though buildings are underutilized, they're scared of what their children will lose just because our babies are in the building. So I know that Second Vice President Bonilla can speak more to that. We want to know, we're going to put in that PEP meeting that's going to be coming up. We really want you guys to show up where you can to speak on behalf of our children, because we deserve space in any place where there's space for our children to be accommodated. And we as a council will continue to fight for that. It saddens me sometimes that people don't understand or they need a lot of repetition, even though our division of inclusive accessible learning, our superintendents, they go on multiple meetings and multiple community sessions. As you can see at the bottom of this form, we also have community sessions where each school can come and speak to the district and listen and hear with ODP, the Office of Developmental Planning, what's going on. Additionally, there are sometimes walkthroughs through some of these buildings. They are generally after school because they want to see how busing is or flow of students or things of that nature after school. So these are the items that you're seeing that Vice President Bonilla is sharing at this time. Would you like to say more, Vice President?
I would just like to reciprocate what you stated about everyone joining and participating in these meetings on how to advocate for our students and being in their own community that they're entitled to be. And as you said as well, it saddens me at times that it's 2026 and we have to live in these times, but that's where our advocacy could come in, and also showing working with other partners in the school communities, because sometimes it may just be just a certain group but not the entire school community feels the same way. So that's sometimes also what we could be able to see, and it's not that we're dismissing their feelings, but we could it's like how our kids, so maybe they need to be exposed, that way we could show them what D75 is about and how community we are, and that they shouldn't be scared of our children being in their building. And I would like to give the floor to Mr. Spencer as well, because he has some knowledge about these meetings, and he didn't get to attend yesterday, but he's attending other ones with us, and we're able to speak into not every. I want to clarify this: not every meeting, not every school community. It's like this. We were at District 9, and we opening the hip hop school, merging with District 75, and they are very welcoming to us being there and working with the students and how to engage with different programs through them. So I would just want to keep that in mind as well. It's not everywhere, but it does happen some places.
Thank you, Vice President Bonilla. Yeah, the only thing I can add is just, in my experience, we have to augment. That's why we have interpretation here. We have to augment the voice that's not the common voice. That's why we're here. We're taking we're volunteering our time um, for unfortunate instances such as these, because
And you,
and
sorry,
why did I
Mr.
add?
One second, sorry. We just got a message that they lost the Spanish line again for Miss Esther. And I don't want her to miss on
I'm
what
checking
you
on it now for you.
no problem. Thank you. I don't want her to miss what you're gonna give to us.
When I was on the roll.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Miss
I get up, I
no,
get up in front of the Zoom camera. I start rolling. Anyway, we have a form in the chat while we're waiting. Vice President Bonilla, is that which form is that?
Set on the Spanish line.
Okay, we're good.
continue.
Oh yeah, so we have a form in the chat. You put in the chat, Vice President Bonilla. What was that? Before I continue, I
That's
just want to.
that we could share is to share with the communities that way they could reach out if they have any concerns of their school community, of things that we talked about like accessibility, share space, ADA bathrooms, things like that. So
Right.
we
So I'm uplifting that now while we were waiting for the Spanish interpretation issue. To supplement what I was trying to say, we're here spending our time for those unfortunate instances where we have to speak for those that can't speak, that are unfortunately being drowned out. It's a big city. We'd like to make it as uniform as possible, and this is why we're specifying those particular aspects that we check off, and because we need to speak for those. We need to speak loudly when we get, because it's our right. It's our right for our kids to have it, just like any other gen ed kids. It's our right for our kids to have it. And when we're here to uplift and make sure that that community doesn't fall between the cracks. There's a system in place which we advocate for to make sure, and we want to galvanize that support through these forums, through these committee meetings, through our council meetings. uh, it's only for us when it's by us. You got to, and when we're there, we're going to be there strong, and regardless of the borough, that's what we're here for. That's what we were spending time here for. So yeah, I wasn't there yesterday, but I want to do my best to make my voice heard for those that need it, because it benefited my daughter. She's a junior in college now, and I want to pass it back. I want to make sure the next person could get their next parent could get their kids through what they deserve. So please, yeah, just keep in contact with our council, with our committee, and come out and, like President Angel says, when the PEP meeting comes out, and please come out and support and let them know they can't walk over us. They can't. This is not, no, not in 2026 and forward. Thank you.
thank you, Mr. Spencer. I added again the form in the chat. I just want to share some of the concerns you could share in the form is external accessibility to the buses or in your pickup areas, the school entrance and exit areas, internal accessibility like elevators, ramps, etc. Share spaces like your playgrounds, your lunchrooms, bathrooms, gym, auditoriums, related services areas. And I want to emphasize this because for some of those that have not been in the buildings, please check out where your related services are being done, because sometimes it's not done where you think it is in a secluded space. It doesn't have ventilation. and it's not adequate for our children. It shouldn't be like that, even if we're co-located. It should be even for everyone. Another one is physical infrastructures like ceilings, floors, paints. We don't want it to be raining outside and it rains inside of the building. Please bring those things up. If you see it, please just bring up your concerns. And also, just to emphasize, this is not a we're bashing the school principal or we're bashing the administration. We are reporting these concerns to see who in our committee could assist in getting us the partner that we need in order to fix some of these issues. Like some of these issues go with building facilities. So we're able to partner with those that work in these issues to see how we could better the school community in the building. Another one is electrical infrastructures, digital infrastructure, or phone infrastructure. I don't know if sometimes you guys get a message that your internet is down in the building, so there's no phone lines. So you can only text through Remind or Class Dojo or Parent Square your teacher. I want to help to work on those things. I know our buildings are very old. That's why I say on how to get with the partners to get the things improved. Another way to get partner, I want to highlight, I was able to attend the Resume workshop with Principal Luis Torres in the Bronx for District 9. It was done at District 11 in Golden Corral. He sat there with other principals, with CECs, with PTAs, SLTs, and nonprofits to talk about how to apply for these grants, that we have deadlines. We could ask for extra funding for our schools in areas that we want fixed. And we're able to not only send it to just the borough president of the borough that we're in, since we're citywide. It could be either borough president of Manhattan, the borough president of Queens. And we could also collaborate with our city councils in our boroughs. That way we could partner with the funding. They also have something called participatory budget that they are able to partner with their borough presidents. And we could help to advocate, why do we need this in our school? One example I'm going to share with you guys was invite them to your graduations. Graduations is the hottest month of the year in our school buildings. I say that because when they come and they come speak, sometimes our auditoriums, as I mentioned in the form, they need renovations. Maybe we need an AC in there. So if they're doing their speech, this is something Mr. Torres said he did with the borough president of the Bronx. She did her speech, and after she was sweaty, she said, next year, we're going to make sure this auditorium has AC. And it was able to work out for the school. So that's why I emphasize, invite them to your events. That way they know who you are instead of just that application name. They put a name to the application. When they get your application, they say, oh, we've been there. We know them. We know who they are. So I just wanted to emphasize that I will try to do that in our next meeting to try to bring us a list on who that we could reach out to partner. Is there something else you would like to add, Mr. Spencer?
Yeah, we're structured such that it's important that you guys can take this in and then pass this on to your parents and your community. Make sure your PAs are up to speed in terms of how they can, if they're hitting a wall, how we can support them based on these questions that we ask of you, based on these standards that we present to you. Also, just to reiterate, regular education councils have D75 parents. I don't believe all the, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not sure if all those seats are filled, but this is we empower our D75 parents that if there's a spot on an education council or D75 parent spot, use what the standards that we're presenting here to fill that space and be that extra voice for unfortunate instances where we find discrepancies, so we can have that extra voice and be that much more vigilant. Like I said, if it's not for us without us, So yeah, please, if you have our email, ccd75capacity@gmail.com for more detailed. We have the form here as a just as a primary, and then you can go into detail at the bottom of the form, and we'll do. We're here for you to uplift any discrepancies, any walls that you come across.
Thank you. And we'll share a flyer of the form. We will email it to you all, because it also goes with numbers and voices, right? It takes a village. So sometimes something you didn't see, somebody else saw. So you could share the form with your school community, because it could be sometimes you there at the afternoon pickup, so you're able to see certain things the morning pickup parent can't see, and you're able to work together on how to fix those concerns that you're seeing in the different times of the day in your school too. But I would like this. Moving forward, we would like to continue as well to do walkthroughs and collect feedback. If you want us to come visit, you could also email us. We could try to figure something out. And advocate for adequate space and planning. I would like to check on the interpretation lines to see if there's any questions, any comments first.
No questions from the Mandarin 9.
Thank you.
No question in Bangla line.
Thank you.
I do see in the chat that a parent is asking if there's any way that you guys can share the upcoming workshop dates.
Okay. Yes, we could email the updated workshops coming up. I see one hand up. Councilmember Masuma Akhtar.
Hello, good evening. This is Council Member Masuma Akhtar. First of all, I would like to thank you to President Christie, Vice President Bonilla, and Mr. Spencer. You guys are doing amazing job. And also, I want to appreciate the forum. This is very unique. This is very useful. I mean, I just want to know how can I take it to more parents, because I feel like everybody needs to have a copy of this form, like to share a link or something like that. How can I assist in that? And also with that, I have two questions. So one of the question is like, how do you determine when a school is considered like under or overutilized? And the second question would be, what kind of data source are used when making utilization decisions? If any of you can answer that. And again, I want to thank you. And please, if you can share the form with me again, because I got disconnected and I lost it in the chat. Thank
Vice
you.
President Bonilla, do you want to jump in or do you want me to jump in?
No problem. Yes, I'm gonna jump in real quick. I'm gonna share the form with I'm gonna share the form again in the chat. I'm gonna do a flyer to be shared out to all the participants, and you could share it with a scan code, and you could share it like that with your community. Does that work, Ms. Masuma?
I want to, which, can I ask which, just because I'm not clear, which form are you talking about sharing?
1 second. Yes, okay, thank you.
Which form, Vice President Bonilla?
We have spoken about doing a form for their concerns.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay. So then I'll answer the other half of that. When you were speaking about how do we know about the utilization of a school, the Office of Development and Planning does send out the EIS, which Vice President Bonilla had went over, which is the education impact statements. That will break down the percentage of the school that's used, if the school is being truncated, being made smaller, if it's being merged into another school, co-located, etc. It will break down all of that. It's usually several pages long. That is forwarded out to all council members. It is also forwarded out to all community education councils. What we've been trying to do on our council is put them at minimum on our social media or share them out in that manner to make sure that people, at least in those boroughs, have the information, just trying to assist in that space. But we can always make sure, maybe Stephanie, we can have someone from ODP come and maybe speak to some of what you're talking about so that parents can get a little touch base on that as well. And I think the other part that I was going to say, I walked through with Vice President Bonilla before. There is one link in the page that she showed you with our joint public hearing tracker. There is one link with learning times into, are you able to pull that back up to share really quickly? There is one link that is the same always. If you see here, it says learningdoe.org/district planning. That link will never change. When you click on that link, whatever is happening for that day, the paperwork will be there, the information will be there, and you'll be able to join the meeting. And then you'll be able to sign up to give voice to that joint public hearing comment if you would like to. I'm hoping that might have answered all the questions. If not, let me know.
Yes, it did. Thank you so much.
More than welcome.
Thank you. And I was just gonna give the floor to Mr. Spencer to see if he had something to add as well.
Yeah, to piggyback on President Angel, just that document is updated yearly by the district planning, and yeah, I think that's the only thing I want to add, and also with that DOE, the learning times link, that's a good way to see what, and through our committee and through the council meetings, you'll find out, because we're citywide. If you want to know specifically for a particular area, we would address that during the committee meetings, and then you can attend via those links when it's active. So that's what I want to add. Just it's a yearly process, like President Angel says. It's presented to us at the yearly by district planning. The council presents that to our community, and then it's an ongoing process based on the availability of the communication between the schools, what the need is, the space, when the space can be available, if it's new or it's being co-located. So there's several factors involved, but that's the nuts and the bolts.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any more questions?
Hi, good night. I just get on. I was traveling. I don't even know what was the topic about. How could I get a rundown?
Mr. Spencer, Give me
I'll jump in a little bit too. For those, if you ever come to a meeting late, sometimes we might be a little late putting it up on YouTube, but our council does record our meetings and they are posted at CCD 75 Outreach on YouTube as well. So if you miss a little bit of a meeting, you miss none of the meeting because you always can go back online and catch up with those items. If you guys can help her out in brevity, we can also support here.
Yes, no
Yeah,
problem.
so what I was gonna, thank you, President Angel. I was going to say, because we have the agenda as a PDF in the chat. We have our form in the chat as well. Just basically how this committee represents our district in reference to spaces that's needed for our community and utilization that's used properly. And email us. Yeah, those are the three things I want to say. Check out our agenda in the chat. It's a PDF. Check out our form in the chat, and email us with any additional questions that you may have. It's just basically, in a nutshell, if it's not for us, not by if they don't check with us. If they're cutting spaces, if they're not putting out schedules in terms of when we can use the spaces, if it's taking longer for our kids to get to a particular place in the building, any dangers, any things like that, this is what we're here for, to make sure that to put a red flag and say that's not going to happen. So that's just it in a nutshell. Take a look at the PDF in terms of the bullet points. Take a look at our form also in the chat in terms of things that we would like you guys as a community to look out for and report to us. And keep in contact with us via our email, ccd75capacity@gmail.com or D75council email address.
Thank you for that, Mr. Spencer. And also, if you ever have any questions, even after you watch the video, Ms. Taylor, you could also reach out to us in the email, and we could have a day where we could just go over a couple of things with you if you would like as well. And we appreciate you joining. We appreciate everyone joining. So I just want to say at this time, if there are any more questions, I'm sorry, what do I search on YouTube to see this again, please? No problem. Miss President Angel, can you please share our YouTube link on the chat for the parents? And please also join our website. We have a newsletter, and there's an app link as well. Does the app work now, President Angel?
Yes, the app works.
Okay. We have an app for CCD 75 aside from the website, and it also could join into the newsletter, and you're able to also follow our YouTube videos there. But the YouTube direct link is on the chat. Please become a subscriber, and we're not advertising, but we would like you to watch our videos. Thank you for your time. Yes, Mr. Spencer.
Yeah, I want to just go back and circle back to the need that we had from yesterday's joint public hearing for 438Q at Q445. President Angel, what the PEP is, when are they going to review that?
I don't have that permanently in my head. Let me look it up really quickly.
Yeah, no worries.
Do you have the date offhand?
You want me to, is it in the form? Do I put back the form?
It isn't in the form. Let me double check. Give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah, so just for those that are new to it, we did bring that up in reference to a concern because the community has given some pushback regarding space that we are required to have and that we have a right to have. And there's just some more work that needs to be done to educate. And we just want to galvanize folks in, because it can happen in any borough. But when it happens, we need to close our ranks and make sure we support and make sure our kids get what they deserve. So once we have that information, if please, if you can come out to the panel for education policy regarding this site and what's needed for our community at this site. I guess while the remaining time, do we want to because we know winter break is coming up. Is this a good time to just in terms of upcoming Vice President Bonilla? This is a good time to bring it up now, right?
Yeah, I just wanted to add real quick about the joint public hearings. Even this is new to everyone. So I would like you to just come in to just listen. That's your first advocacy. Come in to just listen. See what it's about. See, and from there you can see, okay, so maybe next meeting I'm gonna write some notes. I'm gonna look over the proposal I'm gonna look over the EIS and we'll look at some notes. So I think that's the first thing I will ask from all of you. Let's go to a meeting together. Let's just go listen in. Let's see. As Ms. President Angel said, Ms. President Angel has gone to advocate. I have gone to advocate. So Mr. Spencer, and you guys could hear us on how we're advocating for these proposals. And that way you could also be empowered for you to do as well. And Councilmember Masuma, you already know I'm gonna reach out to you. But Mr. Spencer, your question, I'm sorry.
Right. So as we wind down a bit here, so we're mindful of the winter break. Our next meeting is scheduled for February 11th, 2 weeks from today.
Yes.
So now we had tentatively put, I don't know if it's, I guess the safest thing I think to say this, not sure if we're going to have a second meeting in February because it's short, but
yes.
We'll update you on the 11th regarding that. After February will be March 11th and March 25th before Passover and Easter. And I'll just leave it at that. And at these next 3 to 4 meetings, we'll pass down joint public hearings, things that pop up for you guys. Like Vice President Bonilla said, just come in and listen to how advocacy works. For the most part, they love expanding the community, and for the most part, joint public hearings is like we know there are District 75 parents that need this, and for the most part, they're happy to have us. They're happy to accommodate. For the most part. So I don't want to paint with a broad brush, but when there's a situation that isn't as smooth, we need to close ranks and iron it out. So yeah, please come in and listen in and pass that. Maybe there's an issue at a joint public hearing that may be an issue in your community, and you go and advocate for that as a parent to your PA, to your SLT, to your education council. And see what and then come back to us. Hey, these guys aren't doing anything. What can you guys do to support? And then like I said, what's the themes? It's not for us if it's not without. If we're not there. It's only for us with us. So yeah, please be there and be you take a listen and educate yourself and become a strong. You'll be that much stronger for it. It made me a stronger parent, made me a stronger person. and you'll be stronger for it. I highly, just to listen in. I wasn't always just talkative. I had to listen in. I had to go to different communities and find out where the commonalities were. That's how I got to this space, and that's how our community gets stronger. So February 11th, that's definitely our next meeting. We'll let you know if we have another meeting in February. If not, it'll be then March 11th and March 25th, and we'll disclose some more in terms of joint public hearings and stuff that's coming up. Like I said, it's a little tricky right now with the winter break in the middle of February. So we'll keep you. The next council meeting is next week, the 4th. Sign up for that, and you'll find other committees at the council that is in charge of that oversees in terms of safety and busing and all that. We're full service for you guys, full service. Because it's a full service job. It's a full service job taking care of our kids. So we're there as best we can because we know what it is. So I think that's all. Because I can hear President Angel. I can see President Angel's eyes right now.
Now, I'm totally okay. You're giving great information, and we appreciate you, Mr. Spencer. So totally okay.
And lastly, I just want to make a last question to interpretation to see if there's any questions or any comments from interpretation line.
We're checking with the Spanish line. One moment.
No problem.
No questions on the Mandarin line.
No question in Bangla line as well.
Thank you.
So far, no questions on the Spanish line.
Thank you. So I think for today, we did great in our committee. I appreciate everyone's time. I really wanted to inform you in these different topics and these different things that we could do in order to advocate for our students. And thank you for your participation. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will give you back your time. Have a great night.
Stay safe and warm, everybody. Thank you for your time.
We are releasing interpreters and ending the meeting at 7:06 p.m. Have a great night.
Have a good night, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.